Well, hello YouTube, Steve Patton with General Patton Bushcraft back with you with another super exciting recap of Alone Season 10, Episode 5, titled Spirit Bear. Stay tuned. All right, friends, as always, they start out each show with a famous quote from a famous person, and this quote for episode 5 is, quote, "The art of life is a constant readjustment to our surroundings," by Okuma Kakuzo. All right, friends, episode 5 titled Spirit Bear. 6 people remain. 6 people are fighting for the $500,000 jackpot. They're up there in northern Saskatchewan, and the show starts with day 17, 9:24 a.m., and the show goes to Alan. He's 51 years old from British Columbia, Canada, and we see Alan build a nice gill net. Launches the gill net on a long pole. He ties 2 long poles together, friends, and then he goes back to the shelter and starts the build of a door. He makes a nice door to his shelter. It's starting to get a little cooler at night now. He puts some logs down, thick layer of moss, and then another layer of logs. He makes a nice insulated door, friends. All right, the show jumps to day 18, 8:21 a.m., and it goes over to Cade. He's the 27-year-old from Wyoming, USA, and he performs the man looking for a bear skit. And actually, friends, this thing is pretty funny. He just dresses up as 3 different characters. You're gonna have to see it on the show. And 2 of the individuals are looking for that bear, and they get a can of berries for their troubles, friends. The second guy, he dresses up with a pair of glasses, and his famous quote is, "Cowboys are so dumb," because he gets 2 big cans of berries, friends. Pretty funny skit. Best skit that I've seen so far from all the Alone shows. All right, Cade sets up on a caribou and bear trail by a patch of berries. He makes a blind out of a small cubby of trees, friends. There are approximately 43,000 black bears in Saskatchewan. He sees a squirrel. Cade's very hungry. Shoots and nails him, friends. He nails this squirrel, but the squirrel gets stuck up in the tree, so Cade has to climb up. The squirrel is still alive. He climbs up in the tree, grabs the squirrel. He gets bit for his efforts, friends. He's bloody all over his hands. And oh my goodness, he could get a disease from that squirrel, friends, but we see him cook, clean, and eat that thing. All right, the show moves on to day 18, 2:49 p.m., and the show bounces over to Alan. It's 50 degrees. He goes down to check the gill net, and it's getting harder to find green Labrador tea leaves. The mushrooms are starting to rot, and Alan has lost 34 pounds since day 1. Alan has 1 piece of fish left from a catch on day 16. Nothing in the gill net, friends. And oh, ugh. So he goes and tries his hand at hand line fishing. Sees a monster pike. Then he catches a nice trout. Another trout. That's 2 trout, friends. And then a 3rd trout. And I'll be doggone, he catches 4 trout on that evening, friends, for a total of 5,150 calories. So good on Alan. All right, the show bounces to day 19, 10:52 a.m., and it moves over to Mikey. Mikey's hunting a grouse. He takes 2 shots. He misses 2 grouse, and decides to go back and work on the shelter. Mikey has had no protein since day 10, and Mikey's very hungry. All right, the show's moving. It's a fast-paced show, this one, day 20, 7:53 a.m., and back over to Cade, that young 27-year-old. His belt is fitting a little bit looser today, friends, and he's lost about 10% of his body weight. So he cuts 4 inches off of his belt and cooks it in a pot, friends. He makes a leather belt stew, okay? Now, leather is a survival food traced back to the 17th century Jamestown colony. And in Cade's soup, he's got pine needles, mushrooms, Labrador tea, and 4 inches of leather belt, friends. All right, he gets down to that leather belt and starts chewing on it, and he can't do it. He says it tastes horrid. So he spits it out, friends, and he continues to drink that stew broth. He's hoping to get some nutrients out of that belt. All right, friends. 2:45 p.m., Cade hunts the west side of that berry patch. Nothing. He tells us the story of that Iroquois Indian spirit bear legend, friends, where some Indian hunters were chasing that spirit bear. Cade says he is just chasing his spirit bear. All right, friends, the show moves over to day 21, 9:46 a.m., back over to Mikey. He's 31 years old from Georgia, USA, and we got a light snow falling for the first time. This is Mikey's first Canadian snow. It was a lot warmer in the shelter last night as Mikey did some improvements on his shelter, fortifying it, put more spruce boughs, more moss, insulated a little better. And I'll be doggone if he gets a warm shelter and it's not full of mice that night, friends. So he wakes up and decides to make some figure 4 deadfall traps. So good on Mikey. All right, the show, day 21, 3:12 p.m. And the show moves over to Wyatt. Wyatt's 51 years old from Ontario, Canada. And he has caught 6 fish with that good old gold hellfire. You remember that gold hellfire lure on Reindeer Lake? And he catches another big lake trout, friends. Now he keeps fishing, tries his hands at fishing and wants to stock up on fish. And oh, Wyatt runs into a little bit of bad luck. He loses that gold hellfire on a big pike. That big pike just bites that leader and takes his lure. So Wyatt grabs another piece of driftwood and goes to work on another lure. Wyatt's only got 2 treble hooks left. He brought 4, but he lost 2 when that big giant pike took gold hellfire. All right, friends, the show moves on to day 22, 12:03 p.m. Mikey catches a rat. He gets a rat in that deadfall trap, so good on Mikey. And he skins that tiny little mouse, friends. He said it's the hardest animal he's ever skinned. He darn near rips his legs off trying to pull the sweat jacket off of that mouse. So good on Mikey. He stretches that mouse hide on a hoop. Oh, he gets a piece of willow, forms a hoop, and he stretches out that mouse hide. So good on Mikey. Good bushcraft skills right there. All right, friends, day 22, 6 people remain. Wyatt finishes his new lure named Gold Fury, and he tries his hand at some fishing again, and I'll be doggone if he doesn't lose Gold Fury. The second lure Wyatt's lost, and he's beside himself. All right, friends, day 23, 3:19 p.m. And the show moves over back over to Cade. Now, Cade's a slender young fellow from Wyoming, USA, and he's super hungry. Cade's fighting hot and cold flashes. He's not doing too good, friends. He's trying to stay hydrated. He decides to hunt that berry patch one more time. So he hikes out there. He can barely get out there, friends. All of a sudden, just after finding some more fresh bear scat, Cade passes out. Boom. The camera crashes on the ground, and he's unconscious for 57 minutes. Ooh-wee, Cade is not doing good. Cade wakes up after 57 minutes, friends. Cade breaks down and taps out. You knew he was after he was unconscious for that long. Almost an hour, friends, not doing good. So Cade is disappointed, but content within himself, friends. And that's where the Alone Show ends for episode 5, titled Spirit Bear. And friends, that's where I'm going to end my recap. This has been the recap, the official recap of episode 5, Alone Season 10, titled Spirit Bear. Now friends, before you leave the channel, please consider subscribing. Bang that bell icon, and in that drop down menu, do select all, friends. Give the video a like and leave me a comment. Let me know if I'm saying that word friends too much. You guys are all my friends out there, YouTube, and I got a comment from someone out there saying I say friends too much. But that's okay. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And as always, God is good. God is great. I see y'all on the next video. It's already got a date.